welcome to Fat Kids Food Porn. Tonight we are making Loco Moco. If you've never had this dish, you are missing out. Had a chance to try this in Hawaii and oh my, you are gonna love this tonight. Simple, easy, quick to make. The entire family will love it. Most important thing, make sure you got a bottle of rum. I've got some of the local Hawaiian rum to be drinking tonight, so this should be on point. First thing we're gonna wanna start off with is getting our rice cooked. I'm starting with the jasmine rice. So I got 2 cups of jasmine rice. I'm gonna put it in with about 3 cups of water. Bring that to a boil. All right, so we've got our 2 cups of rice and slap that into a pan. As I said, we're gonna go with 3 cups of water. Bring that to a boil. All right, so while we got the rice cooking, we want to get our other food, start to get it prepped. I've got a half of a sweet onion that I'm going to mix in with my hamburger. You want to make sure that you dice this really well because you don't want big fatty chunks hanging out in your burger meat when you mix it all together. If you don't know how to properly use a knife, onions are a great way to sit and practice to learn how to properly cut. All right, I've got about 2 cloves of garlic in here. I'm gonna add my onions into the little bowl. Then I'm actually using chopped sirloin, so it's about a 90-10 versus the regular ground beef. But I think this is gonna turn out mighty good. I got about 2 pounds here, cooking for 3 people, so I'm probably not going to use all of this, just sort of break it down. One thing I've told you guys before, don't be afraid to get in there, play with your meat. Get all this mixed in really well. Once you start getting some of the veggies and some of the onion and the garlic in there, I'm gonna stick some Worcestershire sauce in there and some soy sauce, just to give it some of that additional flavor. All right, so as you're mixing this in there, I'm gonna stick some Worcestershire sauce, call it a half tablespoon. I don't measure shit, as I've said before. We just want to give this in here, give it a little bit additional flavor, and then we'll finish mixing this all up and prepare to make our patties. All right, as I was saying, you want to get in there, plate your meat, get that all mixed in there really good. Make sure you incorporate all of that. We're going to break this out and make some patties. Typically, that's the wifey's chore. She's better at making patties than me, but I'm sure I can stumble through this today to make 3 little fatty burgers that we can have with our Loco Moco. As you can tell, I'm not seasoning these right now. We'll do that here in a moment. I've told you guys before, I'm not a heavy seasoning fan. Anytime you use beef, you want to make sure that you're just using salt and pepper. I prefer fresh cracked pepper and sea salt. Kosher salt's another good one that you can use. And you want to be very liberal because beef really likes those. All right, now that I got my beef patties all patted out, salt and peppered, we've got the rice, which is now come to a boil. You just want to give this a nice little stir. We'll turn this down to low heat. We're going to slap a lid on it. We're going to let this go for about 15 minutes and just let it finish cooking. All right, we got the rice sitting here simmering for us. Next thing we want to do is we want to start getting our burgers cut. I got my cast iron pan, letting it warm up. We want to get a nice heat on that so we get a good caramelization on these burgers. Some people will use different kinds of oils and everything else. If you are smart, you will save your bacon grease because these burgers come out phenomenal whenever you use this. A couple tablespoons will do. So in the future, when you make your bacon in the morning for breakfast, make sure you get you a little mason jar, dump that in there, and save that for another day because that stuff works on so many different things. One thing you're going to want to do for your gravy is you want to prepare a beef stock. So you can either buy that in a carton. I like the low sodium. I'm actually tonight, because I didn't have any of my regular beef stock, I'm using beef bouillon paste. A couple cups of water, some of the paste, brought it to a boil. Now I just got it sitting back here chilling, waiting for whenever it's ready to hit this gravy. We'll start the gravy as soon as we're done caramelizing these burgers, and then we'll go from there. All right, while you're waiting on your burgers to cook, it's a great time to go and make you another cocktail, take a little bit of a break. One of the things, I'm not looking to fully cook these through because we're going to end up putting them back in the gravy and letting them finish there just so all those flavors can marry, and oh, you're going to love it. Just wait. All right, let's flip these over. As I said, I'm not looking to fully cook these through, but I do want to get a good caramelization on there. Careful, that baking fat or baking grease is a little hot when it splashes on you, but oh, that taste is phenomenal. All right, our patties are still cooking. It's been about 15 minutes for our rice. Everyone and everything needs a good fluffing rice. Take your fork, fluff your rice up, and then turn the heat off. And then once you've done that, all you gotta do is put the lid back on it. It'll keep it nice and warm for whenever you're ready to serve it. Yep, look at that rice. It loves a good fluffing. All right, our burger's got a nice caramelization on them. As you can see, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull these out, set them off to the side over here. And then I'm gonna take all this nice hot oil. I am not gonna dump all this out. I'm gonna dump part of it out over here in this pan, because what I've not shared with you yet is we are going to be making some fried eggs to go on top of this. But I'm going to use the rest of this to make my roux for my gravy. This gravy is just all the icing on the cake when it comes to Loco Moco. I don't know if I've shared with you guys yet, but Loco Moco is the crazy burger. Like I said, I learned this recipe, or I don't even want to say I learned this recipe. I learned this meal down in Hawaii. I truly like to go to different restaurants and try different foods and then come home and make it and see if I can't make it even better or put my own little twist on it. So essentially I use 3 tablespoons to put this in here with the oil. Let's stir this up a little bit. I want to cook this flour out. So I don't want a real floury taste. So I'm going to actually do this, let this cook for about, we'll call it 5 minutes, just to get some of that floury taste out. One thing you could do with this recipe as well is I've seen it done with mushrooms. So if you like fungus, this is a great time. Cut them up, stick them in here, and let them cook down with that. And that's also really good. That's only if you like fungus. Unfortunately, the wifey failed to buy fungus at the store the other day, so she doesn't get any mushrooms in hers. So we'll just have to go without, which I'm completely fine with. All right, so we've let this cook down. Now we're going to add the broth. This is a big piece right here. You want to make sure that you get down there and you get all these good bits out of it. I don't start by pouring all of it in there because I want this to start incorporating. What I can't do is pull this juice out. What I can do is add more juice to it. I want it to be a nice thick gravy. Not too thick, but I still want it a thick gravy. As you can see, I'm making a mess. The wife is going to be pissed because she gets to clean this up afterwards. Gotta love the wifey. So as you can see, I'm just adding a little bit more beef broth into this as it's thickening up. I don't want to add too much at a time, but the big thing, what I'm doing is I'm getting all of these off of here, off of the bottom. All those good little bits, oh, that is where all your taste is going to come in. And as we sit here and continue to whisk this in, you're going to get all those flavors. They're going to start marrying together. Then we're going to slap our beef patties back in there and let them finish cooking. While those are cooking, then I'm going to start doing our eggs. I'm going to do our eggs sunny side up, so that way you get all that nice yolkiness in there with the rice, the gravy, and the burger. All right, we got our gravy thickening up, so you want to bring this to a boil, reduce your heat down a little bit, and then we're going to add our burgers back in there and let them finish cooking in there. And that's just going to bring all those flavors. They're all going to marry together. And oh man, I'm telling you, I'm already watering at the mouth just thinking about Loco Moco. All right, so we got the burgers cooking in the gravy. Let's fire up our egg pan. Get this bacon grease nice and hot again so we can fry this up. I don't have a whole lot in there, so I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil just so we have enough oil to fry our eggs. Just perfect. All right, so now what we got to do while we're letting those finish cooking off, and I had a brain fart and couldn't remember what the hell I was doing as I was pouring in that beef broth. I was deglazing the damn pan in order to get all those nice little bits and flavors out of the bottom. Anyway, so now we're gonna move on to frying the eggs. As I said, I'm gonna do these sunny side up. If you don't know how to properly fry an egg, hit me up. We'll have to do another show so I can show you how to do that. Because you clearly need some help if you can't fry an egg. All right, now it's time for the most important part. Let's plate this up. So you want to start off, you want to get a nice big spoonful of that rice. Stick it down there at the bottom. As you can see. Then we're going to get that burger. Stick him on top. Oh, that is looking good. And we want to take one of those eggs. Stick that right there. And then we're going to finish that all off with some of this gravy out of this pan. And I'm telling you, once you deglaze that pan and that gravy and everything else in there, oh man, this just sets this dish off. You cannot beat this. And then voila, you've got your Loco Moco. So the whole point of my show is to help inspire you to want to try and cook at home, try different things. If there's something that you want to learn how to cook, hit me up, let me know. I'm willing to experiment. I truly enjoy cooking. This is my chance to decompress. Whenever you have a high-paced, high-stress job, there's nothing more relaxing than be able to come home and cook. And as you can see, I love to eat, but I also enjoy cooking for people that I truly love and watching them enjoy a meal. So until next time, enjoy yourself, go out there and try something new and have fun.